Hey guys, it's Mr. Feely, and today we're going to be making your name kind of look like a 3D metal text. We're going to go to our image editor first. So photopea.com. So what we're going to do is we're going to make your name kind of look like a professional logo, kind of that something that companies would have. So we're going to go to New Project and hit Create right here. So Create. All right, so once you're here, I think we should change the background color. So in order to do that, we're going to go over to this little fuzzy line called the Gradient tool. You're going to click and hold down on it, and it will bring up this menu. So we can switch it over to Paint Bucket instead. And so we want to change the background to kind of a gray color. So if you go down here to your little color swatches, this little color box, hit the front one, and we'll want to change it to probably maybe a gray that's not too dark, but maybe right in the middle. So if you drag your cursor all the way to the left, it will lose its saturation or its color. It will turn more gray. And I wouldn't go all the way black, but I would go probably about halfway down here. Hit OK, and then you just click once, and it will fill in your background with gray. So now we got to add our text. So if you go over to the big T over here, the text tool, just hit that. And we're going to change the size of our text to 150, so the largest it can go. And if you want to change the font, you can go up here as well. But I'm just going to stick with the standard one. All right. Now, if you tap once, and you can type in your name. I'm going to do all caps, Joe. Or you know what? Mr. Feely. There we go. And you can go ahead and change the color of this as well. So if you just highlight it, if you just tap, hold, and highlight it, you can go up to your little color box up here. And I'm going to change mine to a light blue maybe. Yeah, that's good. All right, so now it's a light blue. And you can, and I think I want to make this a little bigger. But of course, we went all the way up in our size. So in order to do that, we need to go to Edit, go down to Free Transform. So Edit and Free Transform. And it will bring up our little size box. So we can pull one corner and really increase the size. So if you want to increase the size of your name, you can go ahead and do that. You can move it around. I'm going to try to center it and then press Enter. All right, so here is the cool part where we can actually make it look like it's 3D and it's made of metal. So go up to Layer and go down to Layer Style. We're going to go to Bevel and Emboss on the menu that it brings up. You tap that. I'm going to move this menu a little bit to the right. And so you'll see we almost have like a 3D effect going on right now. It looks a little 3D. It looks kind of raised. So we want to make that look a little more chiseled. So there is a mode for that. So if you see technique right here, right now we're on smooth. Let's change it to chisel hard. And it's very subtle, but you'll notice it's a little harder on the edge now. So in order to really make that pronounce, we're going to put the depth up. Let's put it to about 300 to 400, maybe 375. It's probably good. And we're going to knock the size up a little bit. So I'm going to put the size to maybe around, think about, yeah, that's probably good. And you can play around with this. And you'll notice already we get this kind of hard metal chiseled look. And if you don't like that, you can actually go down here and soften it up a bit. But you'll notice the more I make it soft, kind of the more flat it becomes. Because it's taking those shadows and those lights that make it look like it's made out of metal and it's making it blurry. So I'm going to kick it all the way down to 0. I think it looked better that way. All right, so once you think everything looks good, go ahead and hit OK. All right, so now we have our name that kind of looks like it's made out of chiseled metal. But there's one other cool thing we can add that really makes it look 3D. We can actually add a shadow to it. So if you go up to Layer, go to Layer Style, and if you go almost all the way down, you'll see Drop Shadow. Click that, and you'll notice it made a shadow for us. So we can actually change this as well. Right here, this first bar called opacity, that changes how transparent or how visible and invisible you want your shadow to be. So if I put it all the way to the right, to 100, it becomes a really deep black. If I put it all the way down to 0, it disappears. I think, keeping it right in the middle is probably good. All right, and right here we'll change the distance, so how far away the shadow is from your object. So I'm going to put mine a little bit farther. I think it just looks good. All right, and the spread right here will change how thick your shadow is. So it will make it a little fatter if you put it up a little bit. So you'll notice it gets a little wider. I think probably there's good. But again, it doesn't have to be precise. You don't have to have the same exact settings that I do. And size kind of makes it a little blurry. Fuzzes it, makes it a little fuzzy. So I think that looks good. And like I said, you don't have to copy everything I'm doing. The great thing about digital designing is you have all these options and you can be creative. You can make it how you want it to be. You can change the shadows. You can even change which direction they're in. So right now, you'll see this little angle button. You can change it by dragging the little clock hand here. You'll see our shadow is actually changing. It's changing the direction. I think, we are probably good where we were before, around 30. All right, so I'm going to hit OK. And there you go. You have your name in 3D text with light hitting it and a shadow being cast from it. All right. And if you want to save that, of course, go up to File, go to Export, and hit the JPEG one, JPG. Hit Save. And it will save to My Downloads because I'm on a Mac, and because you guys are probably going to be using a Chromebook, it will probably save to My Drive or might save to Downloads as well. I'm not totally sure. So you might have to hunt around for it. All right. So it's right there. Now I can open it up and see it right from my gallery. All right. So that is how you make your name into kind of a 3D looking logo. Okay, until next time, guys. See ya.